4th and 5th graders. Awesome show. Absolutely awesome. And every one of them sat in their seat just perfect. Keep it fine. She said, quiet. I'm Gene Unger, President of the Prairie Bluff Eagle Council. Our main mission is to protect the eagles and to educate. The education piece is what you're part of today. Oh. A microphone, okay. Yeah, that's dangerous. Don't give me one of these. Gene Unger, President of the Prairie Bluff Eagle Council. Educate and protect. Educate is the programs that you guys are participating today. Protect, Prairie Bluff Eagle roosts down the river, about 2 miles down the river. There's 200 or 300 acres down there. We just fundraised $165,000 and added 34 more acres down there to it. As development pressures and pushes out all over around the area, we have safe areas for those eagles to go and perch and roost and fish. So you will learn more about these eagles. You will be little citizen scientists after all this, I guarantee it. Yeah. Our sponsors, Alliant Energy, you can see the banners up there. They make this possible. You don't need your wallet unless you want to buy a little hat like she did over here. So thank you. So it's nice to be able to come out and have something like this here. So I'll introduce Schlitz Audubon here in just a second. Drew Cashman is with us from the Wisconsin DNR. He is also one of our sponsors. So Alliant Energy, the DNR, the Chamber, and Prairie Bluff Eagle Council put this on for you. But this is Drew Cashman from the Department of Natural Resources. He's just going to talk a few minutes, and then Maddie from Schlitz Audubon is going to rock the show.
Thanks. Well, good morning, everyone. We're all the folks that made it through the snow, right? How many people have been to this event numerous times? This is kind of Eagle Days weather now, right? It feels more like Eagle Days. Cold, we've got some snow on the ground. But, you know, it's great for me to just be in a room full of folks that are interested in the things that we're going to be hearing about. Raptors, eagles, the things that we think of as our natural heritage in Wisconsin. And so the program I work for, our job is to conserve that natural heritage for the future. And so I just want to take a couple minutes to tell you guys about what we do and just invite you to visit our table. We've got these little annual reports. Is through a lot of partnerships, and it's also through grants and donations. And so people donate on their tax forms. They, donate online. And then another nice and easy way to donate is to buy a license plate, an endangered resources license plate. So we have the wolf plate and we have the eagle plate. And it makes your car look fantastic, I'd say. And it also, it costs you more because each year you're donating $25 to the Endangered Resources Fund for that work on bats, rare plants, all those kinds of things. So with that, I know we're in for an excellent show here, so I'm going to get out of the way. I hope you enjoy this fantastic show. Enjoy your day at Eagle Days, and just have a great 2019. So thanks.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me okay? Awesome. Now, I am so excited to be here to teach you guys today. My name is Maddie. I came all the way from Schlitz Audubon Nature Center in Milwaukee, and I'm so happy to be at Bald Eagle Watching Days. Are you guys happy? Yeah. Are you serious? Are you happy to be here? Yeah. There we go. I will wake you up, I promise. Now, who here has heard of Schlitz Audubon before I just said those words before? Okay, not so great. Who here has been there before? Whew. Now, you guys, Schlitz Audubon is an amazing place, and I know Milwaukee's 2 hours away, which is really tough, especially when the roads are snowy, but it's an amazing place to be. We have 6 miles of hiking trails, half a mile of beach along Lake Michigan, amazing in the summertime. We have other animals that live with us, like turtles and a flying squirrel, and snakes and a tarantula, that teach people every single day. And it's overall an amazing place to celebrate nature. So if you guys are interested in ever traveling out to Milwaukee to see us, we have free passes for each and every one of your families at our information table out in that lobby area there, that you guys can come stop by our table and grab a pass for your family to come visit for free. Now, I might be a little bit biased, but my favorite part about Schlitz Audubon are the 17 birds that live there. And every day you guys are sitting at your computer or in school, I am taking care of birds. Is that the best job ever? Yeah, it pretty much is. Would you guys also like to clean up poop and cut up rats every day? Maybe not. Oh, it's an amazing job. Part of my job as well is being a teacher, as are these birds. And they do a really great job of it. They travel all around the state of Wisconsin, including down to Illinois. We go to Iowa. This year we're going to Minnesota. And these birds do it all. Now, 7 of them traveled here with us today. And we're here to learn about raptors, right? What do you think of when I say the word raptor? Is it this? If it works? Is it that? Yeah? That's what most people think of when they think of raptors. But as we're here to talk about raptors, we're talking about these guys, ones like bald eagles. Now, all raptors have 3 things on their bodies that distinguish them from other birds around the world. And those 3 things on their bodies we call adaptations. So do I have someone in the audience who's willing to dress themselves up in those adaptations, like a raptor? This one's tough, you gotta be brave. I see a Milwaukee sweatshirt. I have to pick you. Yeah, come on up. Good job repping. And my friend here is gonna put on those 3 adaptations so that we learn what it takes to be a raptor. What's your name? Thomas? Now, when we look at this raptor, and we think about adaptations, what's one thing that we see that helps them succeed in the wild? Their talons, right? Thomas, I have talons for you to put over your shoes. Can you help me put these on? Just like that. Does it fit? Yeah? You're going to look extra fierce after this, I swear. Now, those talons are really, really sharp, and they are what help raptors catch their prey. They're strong and they grip and they kill those things they grab. Looking stylish. What is another thing that we see on this raptor that makes them a raptor? The beak, right? You want to put this on? That beak is hooked over to act like a knife. They tear up pieces of their prey with that hooked over beak. And what's one more thing that we see? Their eyes, right? Ready, Thomas? Does he look like a raptor? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. Now, for embarrassing yourself, I have a button to give you that has our famous turkey vulture on it. Thank you. You got your talons on still. Don't forget about those. Now, those adaptations, the talons, those eyes that point forward, they're very soulful looking, and that hooked over beak, the 3 things that all raptors have on their bodies. And bald eagles are absolutely raptors. So are most of the birds that we brought with us today. And we brought other birds with us in this show to teach you guys about the different kinds of raptors that we have in Wisconsin. Some types of raptors are similar to bald eagles, and some are very, very different. So when we learn about the 5 birds that are coming out in our show today, we'll learn about what makes them similar to the star of the show of the weekend, the bald eagle, and what makes them different from bald eagles. Now, before they come out, we always have rules when we learn about wild animals, right? Now, these guys are just that. They are wild animals. And so when they come out, we have to show them some things of respect. Now, if you were a wild animal and you came into this auditorium, you would see all these eyes looking at you, and you would probably be a little freaked out. So what we can do to help them is by stilling and quieting our bodies while the animals come out. They are trained to do their job in this kind of scenario, but any little bit helps them feel more comfortable. Oh, all of these birds have a reason they live with us at Schlitz Audubon, and all of those reasons, the common thread between them is that the birds cannot survive without our care. And so to keep them safe with us, they will be wearing something similar to a leash that will keep them on their handler's glove. So even if the bird flaps their wings or makes a noise, they're going to stay on that glove safely with their handler so that we can keep them safe from other things that are happening around. Now, you can take pictures of those birds today. They are trained to deal with the lenses and the flashes as well, but I ask that if you are taking a picture, then you please stay in your seats our handlers are going to walk around the auditorium and get the birds as close as possible to you. However, if the birds show us that they're a little bit uncomfortable, we're going to come back up to the front where everyone can see them. Do we think that we can follow those rules? Let's meet our first bird. Now, I want to tell you guys, too, I get so excited for questions that you'll have to come find me at the table after the show to ask these questions about them. Now, do we recognize this bird as she comes out? This is a hawk, absolutely. Her name is Skywalker. She was not named after Star Wars, although she is a fan of the franchise. Skywalker is a red-tailed hawk, and we recognize her because red-tailed hawks are one of the most common species of raptor in the entire United States, but also in Wisconsin. So we see them all the time. And hawks are very similar to bald eagles. In reality, bald eagles are pretty much just giant hawks. They're all active during the daytime. They have that same head shape. They have similar shaped wings, and they'll eat anything they come across if they're hungry. They have their favorites, but in a time of need, they'll pick off just about anything. Now, if I look at Skywalker, I can see her yellow talons, her hooked over black beak, and two big brown eyes that point forward, so I know that she is a raptor. Does anybody know what red-tailed hawks look like before they have a red tail? Did we know that they never had a red tail in the first place? Now, let me show you this here. When an adult red-tailed hawk grows up past a year old, they have a red tail like this one here, and like Skywalker's. It's a gorgeous cinnamon color. But before they're 1 year old, their tail looks like this. It's brown and striped and actually a little bit longer than the adult one is. There are a lot of reasons for this. Do we know what young bald eagles look like before they get that white head and tail? Do you know? What do they look like? They are all dark, right? They don't have their white head and tail. Now, red-tailed hawks like that are different, and they all have the same reasons for why they look like that. Brown colors camouflage better than white heads and tails and bright red tails. And so that brown coloration is helping them blend in when they're just learning the ropes of how to survive. The tail is longer. Now, when you guys first learned to ride your bike, did you have training wheels on? I did. And that long tail acts like training wheels. It's easier to steer in the air with the longer feathers hanging off. Now, it does one more thing, too. It tells other adults that they are not ready to have a family. They're not ready to have a territory. They're not anything to worry about. And so if a young red-tailed hawk, one of those guys here, flies through the territory of an adult, the adult's going to say, "You got a free pass, dude. No problem." But when he gets in that red tail like that, if he flies into another adult's territory, it's not good news. And so both red-tailed hawks and bald eagles look different when they're young. They get all those benefits, but when they molt or shed those feathers out and they get their adult plumage, as we call it, they lose all those benefits because they should know how to survive in the wild by then. Now, Skywalker, if you can believe it, is 21 years old this year. I tell her she looks very spry for 21. And she lives with us because she is an imprinted hawk. Now, what that means is that someone found her in their garage when she was young, and she was laying on the floor. They knew that was not normal. They took her to wildlife rehab, and that rehabber put her with other red-tailed hawks and learned that Skywalker had no idea how to communicate with them. And so what we can deduce is that someone had Skywalker as a pet and then decided to release her into the wild when they didn't want her anymore. Now, is it ever a good idea to keep a wild animal as a pet? No. If we have an animal in our homes that we are taking care of, do we ever decide we don't want it and just toss it outside? Absolutely not. So Skywalker does not know how to interact with other red-tailed hawks. She does not know how to survive in the wild. And so she will always live with us where we can keep her safe. Now let's thank Skywalker and Jackie for coming out to see us today. We'll wave goodbye to them. Yeah, we could clap for her. Good job, Skywalker. Now, I mentioned before that you guys will need to stop by our table after the program today if you want your free pass and if you have any questions for us bird nerds in the teal shirts here. But we also have a lot of cool stuff at that table. We have things for you to touch, educational artifacts. We have brochures about Schlitz Audubon and our Raptor program. And we also have merchandise, like these sweet t-shirts right here. I know, you could look just like me, which everybody wants to do. Now, all of our merchandise that have raptors on it goes towards the cost of supporting our raptors because we are a nonprofit organization and raptors eat every day. And so that food is really expensive. If you guys want to support us, the best thing you can do is buy a magnet or a button or a really cool t-shirt. Now our next bird is much different looking than a hawk or even an eagle. So let's bring her out. Let's see the difference there. What kind of bird is this? Absolutely. This is Tiskili, the great horned owl. She's a beautiful bird. And owls are pretty much the most different type of raptor from bald eagles. Now, when I look at their face of any owl, the first thing I see is a circle. Do you all see the circle? That circle is basically one giant ear. You believe that? We call that circle a facial disc, and that facial disc helps funnel sounds into their face. So I can put mine on. Not only do I look very stylish wearing my facial disc, but I can actually hear you guys better. Because what is happening is the sound is coming into the disc, and it's funneling down to my ears down here. So my microphone is reflecting louder back at me. And owls have this, but eagles do not. Now you guys actually have built-in facial discs. If you want to help your ears hear better, you can cup your hands like this and put them behind your ears like this. You're making a big circle around your ears. And if you point your ears or your face at me, can you hear me just a fraction of a bit better if you put your facial disc on? Just a tiny bit? Yeah. Owls have that built into their face, which is really, really awesome. And now that I've looked really stylish enough, I'm going to take this off. Now, owls have a lot of different things about eagles, too. Owls are awake at night. Are eagles awake at night? Nope. Absolutely not. Owls have feathers all the way down their talons for extra stealth. It keeps them warm. It keeps them quiet as they're flying through the air. Eagles don't have that. They've got bare talons. And they have a much wider wing. It's much softer. It keeps them stealthy because they want to be quiet when they're flying through the night. Eagles don't care about being quiet too much. Now, I mentioned earlier about eating habits. Great horned owls are somewhat opportunistic, like bald eagles are. And in fact, it's almost lunchtime. It's getting there. So what we did today is actually we packed a lunchbox for Tiskili. And inside my lunchbox are some things that maybe great horned owls might eat. And so I need a friend to help me go through it. And we'll think about if great horned owls would eat what's inside. Oh, such good hands. My friend in the coat back there. Yeah, on his dad's lap. Come on up. Now, audience, what my friend is going to do is he's going to take something out of my lunchbox and hold it up for you all to see. And we're going to think, would a great horned owl eat that thing? And if we think yes, we'll give a thumbs up. And if we think no, we'll give a thumbs down. Now, I'll give you a hint first. Great horned owls like to eat things that fit inside their talons for the most part. And her talons are a little smaller than my hand. So do you think great horned owls are eating deer? No? What about a coyote? Still too big, right? Okay, let's see. Well, come on up here, my friend. What is your name? William. William?
No, William.
William? Will you grab something out of this and show it to the audience? Oh, a cheeseburger. Would great horned owls eat cheeseburgers? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Are you all awake? I don't see all your thumbs. I see mostly thumbs down. And I think that's right. I don't think a great horned owl would eat a hamburger. What else is in here? A rat. Would she eat a rat? Absolutely, thumbs up. Great horned owls love rats. Thank you, my friend. Wait, we're not done. Grab more things out of here. Oh, what about a snake? Would she eat a snake?
That's right.
I see yeses. And my friends, let me tell you something. Great horned owls love to swallow their prey whole. So when they swallow a snake, it goes down just like a noodle. So at Schlitz Audubon, we call snakes raptor noodles. What else is in here? A squirrel. I'll give you a big old thumbs up. If there's a squirrel in your backyard and a great horned owl, you won't see that squirrel the next day. Oh, a little smaller, a mouse? I think so. It would take her more mice to get full, but she would still love to eat one. There's a couple more things in here. Let's see. A grasshopper. Yes or no? Let's think about this one. This one's tricky. I see yes and no. Now, they would fit inside her talons, right? But when you're hungry, do you want to take the time to hunt down like 1,000 pieces of popcorn? No? Would you rather have a steak? Yes. So great horned owls don't waste their time with grasshoppers too much. Now, there's two more things in here. A fish. Yes or no? Okay. I think that she would if she got her claws on one. But great horned owls don't usually live near water. I don't know that they would know how to go fishing very well. Now there's one more thing. A frog. Yes or no? I think yes. Can you know why? Because frogs are really crunchy and slimy. They're delicious. Thank you, my friend. Can I give you a button for helping me out today? What do we say to my friend? He was really brave. Good job. This is for you. All right, you can go find your seat now. Now, there's one more thing that should be into Skilly's lunchbox because it is a favorite item of great horned owls. It might be a little big for her talons, but they sometimes like to bite off more than they can chew. Can you imagine? Now, I have kind of a smallish skunk fur here, and I think she'd be able to do some damage with those talons to this thing. Now, great horned owls love to eat skunks. The reason why, firstly, they are the biggest owls in the state of Wisconsin, and skunks are kind of big, aren't they? They can be hefty. So they are the only things that take skunks on. Now, another reason, to the best of our knowledge, owls cannot smell. And so if they are sprayed by a skunk, they simply don't care. Have you ever been driving and you smelled a skunk and you look for the roadkill but you don't see it? Yes. Next time that happens to you, look up at the power line on the side of the road, and you might see a very stinky but full great horned owl. Skilly also is 21 years old this year, and she is imprinted as well, which means someone had her as a pet. She associates herself with humans. But this story is a little bit even sadder. In this case, we know that a man in Texas climbed a tree and stole her away from her family to have her as a pet. And we know this because he was silly enough to go to work and brag to his friends that he had a pet owl. Finally, someone called the police, and this man went to jail, which we are very happy about. Unfortunately, this man had her for so long that she cannot learn how to be a great horned owl. And he also thought the best thing to feed her was scrambled eggs. And so Skilly has a bone disease similar to rickets in humans. Her bones are very fragile. So every day that she has lived with us for the past 20 years, we have given her a calcium supplement to help her bones. And she will always need to live with us so we can keep her safe in that way. Let's thank Skilly and Dale for coming out today. So we know that owls are very different from bald eagles. We saw that facial disc, but they kind of have opportunistic tendencies, and our next bird does too. Now, I hope I have been enthusiastic today. Do you guys, is that a fair word to say for me? I'm enthusiastic about raptors. I love raptors. And Schlitz Audubon does so much that we actually have a celebration of all things raptor called Extreme Raptor Day every November. It's Saturday, November 3rd this year, and at Extreme Raptor Day, you can do everything fun related to raptors. There is face painting and photos with your favorite raptor. There are flight shows where birds will fly over your heads. It is one of the few days every year that all 17 of our birds are on public display. So if you guys want more information about that, you can stop by our table. But in the meantime, I hope you'll stop by Schlitz Audubon on November 3rd. Now, this next bird, do we know what she is? She is a turkey vulture! This is Tallulah. Who here has met Tallulah before? Some of us have. Tallulah is an absolutely amazing turkey vulture. Now, this bird is the bird that is most commonly mistaken for bald eagles in Wisconsin. And there are some reasons why if we look at this picture here. They are the only birds that are even close in size to bald eagles. And do we think their colors are somewhat similar? If they were far away, you might think they were the same bird. But there are a lot of differences to look for. If we look at turkey vultures, we see they have beautiful silver feathers underneath. And if they're flying really high in the sky, you can see it from far away. They look almost two-toned. Now, they also have that bald head. It's much smaller than that of an eagle. Their tails stay in, whereas an eagle's tends to spread. And finally, they fly in a different pattern. Now, both of these birds soar, but a turkey vulture will hold their wings up above their body in a V because V is for vulture and nothing else. And an eagle will hold their wings down straight across from their bodies. Now, turkey vultures actually have eagles beat in soaring because they figured out they can teeter-totter on the wind to find the rising thermals, and they can stay in the air longer without flapping their wings. It saves them energy. Now, bald eagles haven't quite figured that out yet. Oh, a lot of people don't like turkey vultures, right? They kind of have a bad rap in society. And that's because of what they eat. What do they eat? Dead stuff, or carrion. They eat things that are already dead, and sometimes that can be kind of gross, right? But take a second to imagine a world without turkey vultures. If roadkill and dead animals were piling up all around us, do you think it would smell bad? Do you think that we could get sick? Yes, absolutely. Turkey vultures have this amazing ability to clean up our environment. They are nature's recyclers. And they do such a good job of it, they keep us safe. Tallulah is spreading her wings right now. That's what everybody's looking at. You can see her 6-foot wingspan, and you can see the silver feathers underneath. Can you guys tell? They are very different in color. Tallulah likes to show off for audiences. She does. Now, like I said, because turkey vultures are considered kind of gross sometimes, people don't have a good connotation around them. But those gross things are all things that help them survive. And so I want to take the time to tell you guys a little bit of gross stuff about turkey vultures so we can appreciate them more. Does that sound fun? Yeah? Now, first things first, that bald head, no feathers on it, right? When she sticks her head into a carcass, oh, thank you for showing off, Tallulah. When she sticks her head into a carcass, lots of yummy gooey bits get stuck on it. But without feathers, it's easier to clean. She'll sit in the sun until the sun bakes the gooey bits, and then she'll take her foot and scratch it all off when it flakes. That's kind of gross. A little icky. Oh, their stomach acids are incredibly strong because they're eating that rotting flesh, things with diseases on it. And turkey vulture stomachs have actually been known to digest some of the most dangerous bacteria known to mankind. Turkey vultures can eat E. coli, anthrax, botulism, salmonella, and asbestos without getting sick. How amazing is that? These are all things that would be piling up in our environment, hurting people and other animals if turkey vultures weren't taking care of them. Now, another gross thing, finally, those strong stomach acids are digesting that rotting meat in their stomachs, right? And turkey vultures actually don't have talons. They are the only raptor that we brought, non-raptor, that we brought today, because they eat things that are already dead. There's no need for strong and sharp feet. And so that leaves them without much of a defense mechanism. Oh. If something threatens them like a coyote, a turkey vulture will stare at that coyote and projectile vomit in their face. That's gross, right? But think about it. Those stomach acids and the rotting meat would drive away anything that is trying to touch a turkey vulture. I have smelled it twice in my life, and I will tell you, you do not ever want to experience that smell. So those are all things that help them survive in their environment. And I hope that after today, you guys will take your knowledge about turkey vultures out into the world, and anytime someone says something upsetting about them, you know that they are truly amazing. Now, Tallulah is another imprinted bird. She is 15 years old this year, and she could live to be 35 years old with us. So she has many more years of coming to Bald Eagle watching days. Let's say goodbye to Tallulah and Carol. Thank you. So you guys, we have learned about some different kinds of birds today, and we're going to learn about a couple of more. But we've been talking about how they're different. And because they're different, because they have different niches or places in the environment, that means that they fly differently, they have different wings, they need different adaptations to survive. And so I'm hoping that I can have 4 people come up and demonstrate how different birds fly for me. You're very excited, come on up. Let's wait for some more people. You in the purple, come on up. And you in the pink scarf, yes, come on up. And someone over here, my friend in the black, on the end, yes, you, come on up. What's your name?
Tanner.
Tanner, and what's your name? Young.
Liam.
Liam, and?
Kyrie.
And Kyrie, and?
Eloise.
Eloise. We are going to act out how different birds fly today. Now, can we all spread out in front and spread our wings so we know we're far enough away from each other? All right, you can put your wings down and rest them for a sec. And I'm going to start over here. Now, my friend, the first bird we met was a hawk, right? Yes. And so hawks fly with their wings straight out. They flap a couple of times, and then they glide. Can you remember that for me? All right, give your wings a rest. And then we met an owl. And owls have big wings, so they do big, slow flaps. Can you do a big, slow flap for me? Perfect. Remember that? And then we met a turkey vulture. And turkey vultures fly like this with your wings in a V, and then they just rock side to side, like this. Perfect. We are going to meet a falcon. And you know how falcons fly? They constantly flap. Okay, put your wings down for a sec. And lastly, we're going to meet an eagle. And we learned that eagles fly with their wings straight out, and they glide or soar. Now, on the count of 3, can we all do our wing flaps so that we act out all these different birds? 1, 2, 3. We have a living field guide of raptors. How amazing. You guys all get buttons for helping us today. You can grab a button and then go take your seat. Thank you so much for helping us. Birds are absolutely amazing. Now, I said that we are going to meet a falcon, so let's bring him out for us to see. And some of you guys have probably met this falcon before as well. Now, I'll prepare you a little bit. This bird is the fastest animal on the planet. Do we know what kind of falcon he is? A peregrine falcon. We have taught you guys well. His name is Cutright. And as he comes down, we'll learn a little bit about his adaptations as well. Now, when we usually think of fast animals, right, we think of cheetahs. And cheetahs can run at 70 miles per hour, which is the speed limit on the highway, parents. That is the speed limit. But peregrine falcons can dive at 240 miles per hour. And they can keep it up much longer than cheetahs. So next time someone says a cheetah is cool, you say, no, no. Peregrine falcons are much cooler. Now, these guys are diurnal, like eagles, but they are shaped a little differently. Do you see his pointed wings? Those aerodynamic wings are made to go fast. And that's because falcons eat other fast things like birds. Birds are their choice. And specifically in the city of Milwaukee, we have a pretty strong population because we have a lot of big, fat pigeons in Milwaukee. They sustain the peregrine falcons very well. Now, one really important story that peregrine falcons have in common with bald eagles is of DDT. Have some of my parents heard about DDT before? Now, DDT was a chemical that we sprayed back in the 60s and 50s, and it got rid of mosquitoes, which was awesome. But what we didn't know is that DDT was killing other things in our environment. So if we look at a pyramid of DDT, I see that DDT would have been sprayed on the ground, right? And we were spraying it very finely. There wasn't much, but we were spraying it over a large area. And let's say that some beetles were then feeding off of the ground. And so they were eating more and more DDT each day by eating those plants. And then some European starlings would eat those beetles. They'd eat a bunch of beetles a day, and they would even get more DDT into their bodies. And then a peregrine falcon would eat maybe 3 starlings a day, and just like that, the peregrine is ingesting all of the DDT that was on the ground. We call this pyramid, biomagnification. And that means with each step of the food chain, the chemicals were gathering into the apex predators. And that DDT was causing peregrine falcons to die. They weren't being hatched anymore in the state of Wisconsin. In fact, the populations were so low, we considered them extant from Wisconsin, which means not extinct in the world, but not in Wisconsin anymore. And so people took notice, and we banned DDT in 1972. And in 1973, Richard Nixon signed the Endangered Species Act and put bald eagles and peregrine falcons on it to protect them. And ever since then, peregrine falcons, their population has been growing in Wisconsin, but they are still endangered. How many years later? That DDT has such a lasting effect on populations. We're so happy that it was banned, but we're still putting in extra work to bring more peregrine falcons back to Wisconsin. Now, Cutright, like I said, he is 16 years old this year, and he lives with us because he used to be a falconry bird. And what that means is that he lived with a person, and they went hunting every day, but eventually Cutright got a little old for it, and he developed cataracts. And so he can't see well enough to hunt anymore, and he's been around people all of his life. So we offered him the best retirement package, complete with daily quail and exercise, and he moved in with us to become a teacher. So let's thank Liz and Cutright for coming out today. He'll make his way back to the stage. And as he comes backstage, I want to talk a little bit more about DDT because it was so important. Now, DDT was gathering in adults, and it wasn't killing adults outright, but it had something to do with the strength of their eggshells. It wasn't allowing them to grow properly. And so we have a demonstration here that'll show you guys how strong eggs should be and what DDT was doing to these eggs. So, to start, what I have is a regular old dozen chicken eggs. And I promise that they are real chicken eggs, but I won't crack one to show you. I'm going to take this egg, and I'm going to put it in a plain old Ziploc bag so that we don't make a mess on the River Arts Center stage. And what we're going to do is we're going to test how strong this chicken egg will be if we put some weights on top of it. Now, we don't usually think of eggs being very strong in their shells. But if you put weight on the sides of these chicken eggs, they can actually be very, very strong. And so I have this egg in a bag, and I'm going to put it underneath this wooden box and in between two pieces of foam so that that foam is distributing the pressure all over the egg. And if we put the box back on top and we put this blue crate on top of that, we will have 9.6 pounds on top of a chicken egg. Right off the bat, would you have thought that a chicken egg could hold about 10 pounds? Probably not, right? So let's test it and let's put some more weight on it. Liz is going to keep my math in check here. So we already have 9.6. Let's put another 9.5 on top of that. Did the box fall yet? No? How about another 10 pounds? 29.1 pounds. I did not see that box fall, so we're going to keep putting weight on here. 7.2.
6.3.
And two rocks that weigh 5 pounds each.
Each of them weigh 5 pounds?
Each of them weigh 5, so 10 pounds.
46.3.
Did the box fall yet? Are you guys watching it for me? 4.6 pounds.
50.9.
50.9 pounds. Ooh, here's a big one. 11.7 pounds. Audience, is this rock going to crack it? Yes or no? Let's see.
62.6.
This will be 62.6 pounds. What do you think we're going to get to? You think 100? 90? 70? Okay, let's see. Let's pick some more big ones here. Oh, I'm running out of the big ones. Okay, 3.5 pounds.
66.1.
And 1.1 pounds.
67.2.
67.2. Do you think we're going to beat 70, you guys? Okay, this is 4.6.
71.8.
Did the box fall? No? 71.8. Okay, 3.8.
75.6.
I haven't dropped it yet. 75.6, you said? Let's try. You think we're going to hit 90? Let's add another 3.
78.6.
78.6 and 4.
82.6.
Audience, are we going to make 90? Do you agree? 2.2. Ah! 84.8 pounds. You guys were close. Can you believe that? Thank you, Liz. Yeah, absolutely. 84.8 pounds on a normal chicken egg. Now, all chicken eggs should be about that strong. And peregrine falcon eggs are about the same size.
Poor chick.
Oh, poor chick. All peregrine falcon eggs are about that size, and they should be able to hold about that 80, 85 pounds of pressure. But what DDT did was take the calcium out of the eggshells. And so when a 2-pound mother peregrine falcon sat on her egg to keep it warm, it would crush underneath her. And suddenly we had no more peregrine falcons. Now, the same story happened to bald eagles. They were sitting on their eggs trying to keep them warm, and they were crushing. Have you guys been waiting long enough to see a bald eagle? Yes? I am going to handle this bald eagle on my big glove, and I'm going to bring her around to you. And I'm going to pass the microphone off to my volunteer, Carol, here, who's going to teach you about bald eagles. Can you give her the same amazement and respect you gave me? Awesome. Real quick, before I hand this microphone power totally off, one of my volunteers left her phone in the bathroom, and she reported that she went back and it is no longer in there. So if anybody found a cell phone in the bathroom, it is one of our volunteers. But we'll check the lost and found after. All right, off to Carol.
Having fun yet? All right. Prepared to be amazed, because you are probably going to see the most viewed bald eagle in the state of Wisconsin, because Valkyrie was here last year. Who saw her last year? She is back. She had such a good time. She said, I want to come back. Leave glory back. So we did. She is also going to the other Eagle Days. So for an education eagle, you are probably looking at the most famous. Did you hear that? That is the sound of a bald eagle, sort of like ducks, maybe. They camouflage in with ducks that they can eat, and here she is. Everybody look at that big beak, look at those talons, look at this big bird. We've learned about raptors today. She's got them. So this is the icon, our national bird, the bald eagle. And let me tell you how she came to be part of the Schlitz Audubon Nature Center family. When she was very, very young, before she had the white head and the white tail, she was brown, as baby bald eagles are. But for some reason, she separated from her family, or was separated from her family, and she did not learn how to hunt and fish for herself. So she was out on the lake, because they are fish eagles, and there were fishermen who thought it was fun to see this majestic eagle fish. So they threw her fish. So she got used to people feeding her. And in the wild, what?
Watch out.
Oh.
Check out target practice.
And my number one job as a volunteer is to have paper towels at all points of time. In every pocket, I can do that.
I read her body language very well.
So, she associated people with feeding her fish. So that was, she was a happy baby bald eagle. Well, fishing season was over with. The fishermen went away, and she didn't know how to catch her own fish, so she had to find her own lunch. So she looked around the banks. There were picnickers. People feed me. Let me get down there. Well, look at this strong bird. This is not a parakeet to land on your shoulder or your head, because she has 1,000 pounds per square inch of pressure in each of those talon feet. So, to get some sense of that, I would like the strongest man in the room to step forward right here. Right here, come on. I need a strong fellow. I don't care, come sir. He is showing leadership. Bald eagles are known for their leadership, for their strength. And here we have the strongest man in the room. Aren't we proud to have such a volunteer?
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
So, what's your stronger hand?
I'm going to say my left.
Okay. Put this in your left hand. And I want you to take a deep breath and push. No.
Okay. Okay.
Push as much as you can and then read to see how many pounds per square inch are you pressing. What do you get up to? 1. He was trying to cheat. I see that. 22. 22 pounds per square inch. Yes. Very good, everybody. Woo. And sir, you get a turkey vulture pin for being a volunteer. Please wear this proudly.
Thank you.
You are welcome for being a volunteer. So you could see the strongest man in the room, 22 pounds, bald eagles 1,000. So they are strong. What else are they good at? Vision. They are known for their vision, which is 8 times better than yours. So now I want the best reader in the room. Who can read very well? You, sir. Okay. So I'd like you to go about a football field's length. Oh, this room's too small for that. No. Come over here. We have a bald eagle over there. So go up to the end of this aisle here. He says he's a good reader. We're going to see a bald eagle can see far up in the sky, look down, and see a bunny rabbit thousands of feet from the sky. And he can see across the football field. And if they read, they would be able to read this little line here. So, sir, I'd like you to read the lowest line on here. You can step forward now until you can read the whole thing. Keep coming. Keep coming until you can read everything on this paper. Keep coming. You are no bald eagle. Keep coming. Can you read it? Stop.
I think rats taste good.
What did you say?
I think rats taste good.
Yes, so do bald eagles think rats taste good. Well done. And sir, I'm going to give you also.
Do you know that bald eagles can actually look from 2 miles away?
Yes, 2 miles away. He's a bald eagle expert, but he's not much of a bald eagle. So we know they can see very well that they need for hunting. So these birds are in the center of many Native American stories, known for their leadership, their strength. So we've demonstrated some of that, but we know they have a conservation story to tell too. It was in the 1940s. We thought DDT solved everything. I think somebody tried brushing their teeth in it. It didn't work so good. So anyway, we no longer can use DDT in this country. We do make it here, but we ship it to other countries. So what happened with this DDT is while in the state of Wisconsin in the 1970s, there were 108 bald eagle nests. Who knows how many bald eagle nests there were in 2018? The report just came out from the DNR. And there's how many? 1,695. Just 5 nests short of 1,700. That is a lot of bald eagles' nests. So thank goodness you've come to Eagle Days. This is a good year to look for bald eagles in Wisconsin. We're one of the top 5 states to look for bald eagles. So you're going to get out there and you're going to enjoy seeing them because now you've seen one really up close and you know what to look for even though you have pitiful eyes that aren't quite as good there. So they came back because of the laws that we made to eliminate DDT being used in this country and Endangered Species Act, and there are other laws that protect our national emblem. Do they have other dangers right now? They sure do. Anybody know what the biggest danger is that's killing bald eagles in our state right now? It is a chemical. Lead. Lead. So, if you're using lead buckshot or you are using lead sinkers for fishing and it stays, it's there. You throw out the guts of the deer and there's lead in it. Or the fish sinkers get there and another animal comes, a great blue heron, and eats it, or a bald eagle eats it. They get lead poisoning. And if you want to visit our table afterwards, and you can get a bald eagle pin if you want to buy one that supports the eagles, you'll see how little it takes of lead to poison an adult bald eagle. It's pretty scary. So conservation is important, and I'm so delighted that you got to hear about our eagles and our other raptors. And we hope that you learned something because we share this environment with them, and that you stop by our table, and good eagle viewing.